Let's talk a little bit about business ethics, NAR Code of Ethics, and the pathways to professionalism. Business ethics can be made up of industry codes such as the Realtor Code of Ethics, or it can include company policy and individual moral values. Legal standards generally set minimum standards of conduct. Ethical standards usually encompass principles higher than those of legal standards. Regardless of their real estate specialty and business specialty, appraisal, residential, commercial, property management, etc., all realtors are bound by the Code of Ethics. Realtors engage in many specialty areas and may be subject to the various codes of canons of those fields, such as the legal ethics, the Uniform Standard of Professional Appraisal Practice, the National Auctioneers Association Code of Ethics, and the codes of the National Association of Realtors Institutes, Societies, and Councils. Regardless of their real estate specialties in the fields of practice, all realtors are bound by the Code of Ethics of the National Association of Realtors. The Preamble is the code's aspirational foundation. While its concepts may not serve as a basis for any disciplinary action against realtors, there are timeless principles upon which the professionalism of the industry is based. And in fact, every realtor makes a personal commitment to uphold the Code of Ethics, which defines high standards of ethical conduct in our industry. The code defines professionalism and is based on the overall concept of service to the public, embodying the values of honesty, integrity, fair dealing, and competency. It also protects practitioners with and whom, if they follow the code, will minimize their legal liabilities. Let's take a minute to read the preamble of the code. Please pause this video for just a couple minutes and read through the preamble. Let's look at several of the aspirational concepts that we find in the preamble. Under all is the land. This phrase is extremely powerful and descriptive beginning of the preamble that sets the stage for all that follows. It clearly conveys the immense and all-encompassing nature of the real estate and real estate calling. Land is the foundation of many aspects of society, whether it's to be the basics of food and shelter or more sophisticated aspects of economy and prosperity. Truly, realtors deal in one of society's most important commodities. The Golden Rule. There is no safer guide than that of which has been handed down through the centuries, embodied in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do to you, do ye ever so to them. Also in the preamble, widely allocated ownership and the widest distribution of land ownership. These phrases are presented in the terms of survival and growth of free institution and of our civilization, and with the notion that the interests of the nation and its citizens require the widest distribution of land ownership. Such concepts speak to a fundamental premise upon which our nation was founded, given that much of our law and governance derived from England, where the king used to hold much of the land available. It's understandable why our nation's founders desired to have more than just a few individuals own vast quantities of it. The accumulation of land can lead to inordinate power in the hands of a few. Realtors support that the fundamental concept that many persons owning small parcels of land is vital to our democracy's efficient function. Several concepts also relate to protecting the profession's integrity, aspirations to maintain and improve the standards of their calling, strive to become better and remain informed on the issues affecting real estate, identify and take steps to eliminate practices which may damage the public or which might discredit or dishonor to the real estate profession, and sharing with fellow realtors a common responsibility for the integrity and honor of the real estate business. All speak to realtors' common obligations in looking for the wider implications of their individual conduct during their daily practice. Competency, fairness, high integrity. Highlight those watchwords for your professional conduct. No inducement of profit and no instructions from clients. This powerful principle directs and follows the competency, fairness, and high integrity. In a nutshell, the entire paragraph summarizes the critical concepts of the code. An all-important note is to remember that the preamble may not be used as a basis for discipline in the Realtors or filing any alleged violations. These, again, are aspirational concepts only and found in the preamble. The code is categorized into 3 sections: duties to clients and customers, duties to the public, and duties to realtors. There are 17 articles of code, broad statements of ethical principles. Only violations of the actual articles, and not the standards of practice themselves, may lead to disciplinary action. The standards of practice that follow each of the articles of the code support, interpret, and amplify the articles. A realtor may not be found in violation of the standard of practice. A standard of practice may only be cited in a disciplinary proceeding to support actions related to an actual article. One of the most important resources to help us understand the code is the official interpretations of the code, which are specific fact situations that explain the articles and/or the standards of practice. These case interpretations do not cover all fact situations, but provide appropriate guidance related to some of the most common ones. The Code of Ethics, Standards of Practice, and case interpretations consistently are reviewed, analyzed, and revised when necessary. Amendments are made during the NAR mid-year meetings and the Realtors Conference and Expo. But before amendments become effective, the NAR Professional Standard Committee and the NAR Board of Directors must approve them. Many of these changes result from recommendations by the Interpretations and Procedures Subcommittee of the Professional Standards Committee. Any change to the article and code must be approved by the NAR's delegate body. These are done at the National Association General Meetings, and your association's NAR delegates become your approving body. The Code of Ethics must be reasonably and consistently construed with the law. Where the code conflicts with the duties of the law takes precedence. At the same time, the code does, in most instances, impose a higher standard than that of the law. The code often restates certain fundamental legal principles, such as those found in contract, agency, and fair housing laws. The code includes objective and enforceable ethics standards, but does not address the voluntary professionalism, courtesies, and etiquette guidelines discussed in the Pathways to Professionalism. Courtesies such as responding promptly to questions and requests for information, returning phone calls, showing courtesy and respect to everyone. These and similar guidelines for good business practices are included in the Pathways to Professionalism document. Although not a complete list, the Pathways to Professionalism may be supplemented to include local customs and practices. The Pathways to Professionalism reflects how we all would like everyone to act in the real estate profession. The next short exercise is to break into small groups and identify 3 items from the lists listed in your workbook that relate to the marketplace surrounding your local customs or practices as they relate to the Pathways to Professionalism. This should only take about 3 minutes or so for the discussion. Please then share your group's information with the others in your training class. Please pause this tape now and resume when your discussion has completed. The whole exercise should take no longer than 10 minutes.